Hello, year four. Welcome to week 8. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Week 8 of your numeracy home learning with the White Rose. This week, I legitimately cannot single someone out for their work. There's so many of you who have done such an amazing job. So many of you still continuing to work super hard, continuing to challenge yourself, to push yourself even further. It's absolutely amazing to see that. Last week was a little bit tricky with the multiplying and dividing by 10 and 100. Always something that we find tricky, always something that we find difficult. But this week it should be something a little bit easier. Now, to start off, we're going to do some writing of decimals, we're going to do some comparing decimals, some ordering decimals, and some rounding decimals. And you might think, oh, Mr. Sheffield, we've done this before. And just like I say all the time, we do these things over and over again to make sure that they are solid in our brain. Okay, you don't just do something once and go, yeah, I know that now. You've got to carry on refreshing it. And if you look back at the White Rose, you'll see in week 1, we were doing some very similar activities. So if you look back at your work from week 1, you'll be able to sort of pick up the things that you think, oh, yes, okay, that's what I need to remember. As always, the video links will be there on White Rose to help you as well. So, start off, writing decimals, recognizing the units, the ones, the tenths and the hundredths. So here, there are 3 ones, there are 2 tenths, and there are 5 hundredths. And last week we were dealing with tenths and hundredths. Week before we were looking at sort of fractions and things like that. So you should now be fairly confident with what tenths and hundredths look like. So ones, that means 3. My tenths, that means 0.2. And my hundredths here means 0.05. So I've got 3 ones, 2 tenths, and 5 hundredths. My number is 3.25. Okay, so brief kind of recap of what decimals are, writing decimals, highlighting, so this one here where it says write the value of the underlined digit, that means this one here, 3 tenths, how would I write 3 tenths as a decimal? Well, it's 0.3. How would I write this as a decimal? This 50 here, how would I write that as a, well, you don't, you just write 50. Or you might have to just write 3 tenths. I would say write 3 tenths here, 2 ones here, 700, that kind of thing. Okay. You've got some part-whole models to complete. You guys are getting really familiar with those and a few word problems. And then you're going to go on to comparing decimals. So we're going to be using the greater than or less than signs. Remember that absolutely classic joke. Why was 6 afraid of 7? Because 7, 8, 9. Oh, gets me every time. Anyway, the point is, the smaller number is going to be eating the bigger number. So this one here, 0.25, and here is 0.35. Well, the smaller number is this one here. It's going to be eating the bigger number. Okay, so remember that best joke of all time. Why was 6 afraid of 7? Because 7, 8, 9. And these will be super, super easy for you the whole way through. Okay. The third day is ordering decimals. So instead of just having 2 decimals and you decide which one's bigger and which one's smaller, you're now going to have more than 2 decimals to put into order. So you're going to have to decide which one's the biggest, which one's the smallest. You might even have to do some multiple greater than or less than symbols. But I think, again, we've done lots of these things before, so you should be okay. Final day of the week is doing some rounding of decimals. So putting some decimals and making them round by putting a big circle around them. No, that's not what rounding decimals is. Rounding decimals means putting a decimal to the nearest, either, well, here it's going to be the nearest whole number. So for example, 2.7. Well, 2.7 is somewhere in between 2 and 3. But which one is it closer to? Is it closer to 2? Is it closer to 3? Have to think about these ones up here. Look, these numbers are exactly the same, but they're just 10 times bigger. If you remember from last week, if I divided each of those numbers by 10, I'd have those numbers down there. So practice with these ones here. 27. Is 27 closer to 20 or 30? Well, it's 7 away from 20, and it's 3 away from 30. So, oh look, 27 is closer to 30. So, 2.7, is it closer to 2 or is it closer to 3? If you're not sure, and you need a little bit more help, you can change these numbers here, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc., to 2.0, 3.0, 4.0. That might be a little bit of a trick that just helps you with those decimals there. Then you've got the opposite one over here. These numbers here, 7.1 all the way up to 7.9. Those are decimals in between two whole numbers. What whole number goes here? What whole number goes here? Again, use that little trick if you need to, of putting the 0.0 after the integer, the whole number, and that will really, really help you out. Now, as for the challenge question this week, challenge questions are going to change ever so slightly. Usually, I've been making a little challenge question sheet together myself and putting it on Purple Mash for you guys. This week, though, and from here on, Mr. Turner is recording a video for you, and Mr. Turner is going to give you your challenge question by video on the home learning section of your of the website. It'll appear next to this video and next to all the resources you need. So look out for Mr. Turner's challenge, and I'm really, really looking forward to seeing what you guys produce. As always, stay safe, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.